Back again with another review, and this is for a movie, TV show, and video game fan. He wanted me to talk about and review The Brave One, 2007 film starring Jodie Foster. And I believe I do have the film somewhere, but I just pulled it up on Tubi last week. I don't know if or how much longer it's going to be on Tubi, but I did watch the film, and I thought it was a pretty solid movie. Now, I know this film often gets it gets compared to Death Wish and other films of that type because it is a vigilante movie. But the story here, real quick, so you have Jodie Foster's character. She's a radio host in New York City, and one day her and her fiance is walking through Central Park, and they're brutalized. Jodie Foster's character, she's left in a coma for 3 weeks, and her fiance is beaten to death. So she goes into a coma, wakes up, and then from that point, she's on a path for vengeance. And she's set on finding the people, responsible for her fiance's death. And that's kind of the plot here. And again, so it's a straightforward story, vigilante plot. But I still enjoyed this movie, even though, like I said, when it comes to this type of movie, the vigilante type of films out there, this is probably, at the bottom. Because I think also the same year you had Death Sentence with Kevin Bacon, which if I had to pick between the two films, I would say Death Sentence I liked more. And I saw that in the theater when it came out. And I don't think I have that one, but I need to pick that up. Really good movie. And, this film is often compared to Death Wish and that franchise. So I understand, this film here, might be at the bottom when you talk about, when it comes to this category, to the category of, again, the vigilante movie. But I still like this film quite a bit because for me, Jodie Foster, her performance here is really good. And I'm a fan of Jodie Foster. And in fact, this was like the highest pay she ever got. She got paid to like $15 million for this movie. And like nowadays, you don't really see her much. Maybe once in a while, but you don't really see Jodie Foster much in movies now. I don't know if she's semi-retired or retired, but you don't really see Jodie Foster a lot nowadays. So I don't know because again, she made 15 million off of this movie. Maybe she's doing well. This is back in 2007. And again, maybe you'll see her once in a while, but not much. But a Jodie Foster I do like as an actress. Silence of the Lambs is a classic. Contact, that's a film that I remember liking, that I would like to go back and, rewatch again. And there's other films out there with Jodie Foster that I still have to see or watch. Maybe some of you guys out there can recommend some other ones out there. But yeah, like I said, I do like Panic Room. Now, I almost forgot about that one. That's a good movie. Panic Room. Definitely underrated, actually. But yeah, that's one of my favorites that she did. But like I said, Jodie Foster, very good actress. And I like I said, I thought she was very good here in her performance. I mean, if it did not star Jodie Foster, to me, this film would just be kind of in one ear and out the other. Like nowadays, and it's something because as I'm watching this film here, and I'm thinking, wow, this is 15 years ago, because now in this current climate, they would never make this movie. Think about that. This is 2007, and this film, you have a woman. Imagine that. I mean, you have a woman that, for one, an actress that is very capable and very good, but also she's on a quest. She's on a quest, a path for vengeance. I mean, for example, there's a couple of scenes in the film where, she's on a subway train and these two guys are harassing different people, and Those people leave, and then Jodie Foster is sitting by herself, and they kind of put a knife to her throat, and then she pulls out a gun, kills them both right there on the spot. And so you got moments like that. I mean, 2 or 3 moments, maybe 4, of her character doing vigilante stuff throughout the movie. And I know too with this film, like I was reading the user reviews on IMDb. Now it has a pretty solid rating of a 6.7, but it seems like, the reviews vary, or people are mixed on the film because, it's a vigilante movie. So you got some people in there that are, up in arms about the motif of the film, saying that, oh, this could never happen, this is not realistic, and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. But it's a film. I mean, it's escapism, and, I do like vigilante movies. And again, that I know this might be compared to, other ones that we've seen. This is not, in any case, original. But I still like this film quite a bit because of Jodie Foster. Because of her character, that you would never suspect for her to be that type of person. But again, she was really good in the film. I know the director here. Well, I'll talk about the director in a second, but as far as like other people in the cast here, you do have Terence Howard, and I thought he was good. Terence Howard is one of those guys that I can leave or take, but I thought he did a good job here in terms of providing support. I mean, like, as a supporting actor here, then I don't mind the scenes between Jodie Foster and Terence Howard. And that kind of leads to another point that I thought about, because, this is back in 2007. And it's interesting how, like nowadays, Jodie Foster would not get away with this stuff. And but because everybody has a phone now. Everybody has an iPhone. They have their own, camera. And it would not take long for Jodie Foster to be caught. And that's kind of another interesting point, because this was 15 years ago. It wasn't so technological. We didn't have, back then we had what? The Razor phones, for people that remember the Razor. But it wasn't, like now. It's interesting to go back and look at. And that's another reason why this film they would not make now, because one, a lot of people would just be up in arms about a vigilante movie character doing vigilante stuff. So this is why I like the film. Another reason why I like the movie quite a bit. But, getting back to what I was saying before about the cast. See, I kind of go in different directions here. But again, Terence Howard's good here. Zoe Kravitz has like a very small part in the film as a girl that is rescued by Jodie Foster because Zoe Kravitz is being abused by this character. And then later on, they have another good scene where, Terence Howard visits Zoe Kravitz in the hospital. And then Jodie Foster's there. They're like, Jodie Foster, her character's there. And Terence Howard's like, okay, tell me what happened. Because Jodie Foster had saved Zoe Kravitz. Pretty much, killed her abuser. But, Zoe Kravitz didn't say anything, didn't say, hey, this is the woman that saved my life. And so I like that moment. But yeah, there's not a lot of people here in the cast that you may recognize, but Terence Howard, again, he's good in the film. Now, the director here, Neil Jordan, I believe this is the same guy that directed Michael Collins of Liam Neeson. And I haven't seen a lot of his work, but I thought he did a good job here directing. The score, I didn't mind. The song in the film by Sarah McLachlan. I forgot the name of the song, but I thought that was a good song in the film. The pacing, I mean, the film is 2 hours. Maybe you could have trimmed back 10 minutes. You could say that. Uh, the ending, the ending to the film, it didn't bother me. I mean, of course, in my mind, I'm kind of trying to play out other scenarios because basically, spoiler alert. So for people who haven't seen the film, I would say, you know, you may you might want to close out this video. But pretty much by the end, Jodie Foster, she kills the guys. Like she has, uh, I think, yeah, one or two of the guys there. She's getting ready to kill him. Terence Howard's character, again, this character is a detective that's been trying to find this vigilante character. And, at the same time, throughout the movie, getting to know Jodie Foster, he comes at the scene, he arrives at the scene, and pretty much, lets Jodie Foster kill the two guys, or one of the guys that's responsible for killing her fiance. And Terrence Howard took a bullet and say, hey, pin it on me. And then Jodie Foster, walks away. And you don't know what happened after that. I mean, to Jodie Foster. And again, it's the type of ending that I could play other scenarios out. Um, Maybe I think because some of the stuff that she did in the film, you could say that she deserved to be in jail, or so I can understand that argument. I can understand that argument of her character should be put in jail or whatever, but her character walks off pretty much and gets off on doing the vigilante thing, killing some people in the movie. Uh, so again, I don't mind the ending, but I think there's other endings that you could have done. But at the end of the day, the brave one. Again, I know this might be kind of lower on the poll when it comes to vigilante movies, but I still say check this movie out if you're a fan of vigilante films, because Jodie Foster, again, does a very good job acting wise. I mean, one thing you could say, the supporting cast could have been better, could have been stronger. Maybe the pacing could have been trimmed back, could have been trimmed back a little bit, because it's not, it is a thriller, but you do have quite a bit of dramatic moments here. It's kind of a slow burn, but I still quite enjoyed it. So yeah, that's my review of The Brave One, 2007 film. Thank you again to movie, TV show, and video game fan. But thank you for watching, and have a good day.